We cover what the three main issues are that cause suspension. Business information not matching, being a service area business, but listing the address in some way. You gotta, and there you can check it to show that's not visible, right? And then other things that relate to information not being correct.
Hey, David.
Hi.
How's your day been?
Okay.
No, could be worse.
I'm tired of trying to do things I don't know how to do or that I don't care about, and I've spent a lot of the last 2 days doing just that.
Hopefully today we can get it done.
Well, you can't do all of it. I
We
want
can
to
help.
close out our 401k and
Ah,
a lot of crap I don't care about.
I should probably start investing in that soon. I don't know. I don't know anything about 401ks or properties or anything.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
Yeah, you really should put something away every month.
It's true.
It's not going to make you rich, but over 30 years, it will grow tremendously.
Yeah, the compounding for sure.
Yeah. And it looks so pitiful after 5 years. And by the way, I'm giving you advice that I didn't do. So,
No, that's the best advice though. It's things you haven't done sometimes because you should have done it in a different way.
well, we've made some very good moves. So I can't complain, but I wish I could tell you they were out of brilliance and strategy and preparedness. And most of it happened by accident.
Right.
So who knows?
Well, it's called grace.
Oh, what's it?
It's called grace.
Well, I will take it however it comes.
Great. We got David, we got Felicia. Looks like Omar is joining us. We'll start in a second. I want to get people in here, but anything you guys want to go over right now?
Yeah, I'd love to go over what's
Why?
driving me crazy.
Yeah. Why
One-
wait?
one of
That's
the
my
things.
advice to you, Parker. Why wait?
Yeah, just get to it.
Can I?
Why wait? Yeah. Let's
Why
go.
wait? Yeah, go ahead.
It's not a webinar. This is office hours.
Let's see if this is the one. All right, you see the results from this campaign?
Broadly too, let me log in on my end. That we're both on the same page here. Let's see.
Look at the post itself too, because you got link clicks. So if you're choosing link clicks as the objective, that's usually not what we're going to select unless it's clearly the post itself is about getting people to click on a link. But we should look at it.
Well, looking at what I've understood from you, at 1,460 reach, we should have tried to get 146 people into post engagements. Is that right?
But you didn't choose engagement. You chose link clicks. You see under it says goal, get more website visitors. So anytime you have a post, you can choose what the goal is. The goal can be engagement, which is what I recommend most of the time. Sometimes it's leads. Sometimes the goal is, website clicks, which is what you have here. But anytime you boost a post, you have the opportunity, which you should always choose, to select the appropriate goal. So let's look at the content itself and see, is that something that's best suited for engagement or conversion or, whatever it might be.
How can we see this?
Yeah, for now you can just click on it.
Yeah, any of those, we'll get to it.
Okay, so the point of this ad, and see, there's a video that went with it. The point was to get people to go click on and go read the article, which was about our ADHD and dyslexia, the same thing. And so we had a really good response. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so here's the video. It's just Jill introducing.
Yep.
The whole thing.
Yep.
But when I go,
this is a classic issue you're facing here, but it's okay to cover it because it's so common. We should cover this every day. But go ahead.
So I just want to boost it again. Yeah. I want to boost with the same video, with the same audience, with the same. Well, I want to increase the budget. When I click boost again, the first thing it does is it puts a different media in here.
Yeah. Inside the ads manager.
Okay.
You can edit that existing boost.
Well, let's go try to do that.
Because the initial boosting you can do from right there, which is the most convenient way to do it.
Well,
but not all the same features. So in the ads manager, there are going to be more features than you have when you initially boost. But when we do the initial boosting, we don't need the full power of the ads manager.
Okay. So here I am in the ads manager and I don't even see it. The one that's up here is one I tried to just build again from scratch.
So go to ads. You're in campaigns right now. And let's look for that post there. and then change the date range to whatever it needs to be. You can often sort by spend or engagement or any of those to make it pop to the top. But if you don't sort,
Well,
you're going to
I
have
don't
to
even
go
see
through. You
it.
have 1,000. Yeah,
Okay.
you have 1,276 ads here. So if you don't sort by something, it's going to be hard for you to find the one that you want.
Where's the sort button?
You have to, when you have a lot list, when you have a big list of things. So any of those columns, you can sort by those columns.
Yeah, I hate to be this dumb, but where do I click to sort?
Okay, so a little below. So you see that it says page engagement, post reactions right below where your mouse is. Okay. Like to the right, any of those columns, you click on those columns, it'll sort by those columns. Doesn't look like those are it. So the question is, where's that boosting occurring from? Was it in this ad account or did you do it in your personal account? So yeah, you click on the top right. So you have the current account we're in is that Stoll Learning Centers one, right? But if you boost it from another account, you've got to go to that account.
There we go. They're the two.
Okay.
Okay.
Now you can go to the ad set or to the campaign level and we can hit edit. Yep. Go down to the one you want and hit edit. Now we can extend the budget. So you're saying you like it. If you like it, and the whole point of $1 a day, amplify what's working well. So if it's working well, let's put more on it.
Right. So let's see. I clicked on it. What do I do now?
Yep. Well, you're on the ads right now. So you have to go to the ad set. So click that blue box that says one selected, click the X out of it. We're not trying to edit the post. We're trying to edit the ad set level and click. Okay, below in the ad set, you've got to go down, go to the one you want to edit. Don't click on it yet, but mouse over the blue text of the one you want, and then go to where edit in the gray. There's a little link for edit just below where your mouse is. Click on that. Okay. Now scroll down. Okay, we have a start and end date. So clearly we want to extend that end date. Maybe don't even have the end date on it and just increase the budget.
Okay, set it so
because you can have an ad turn off because it ran out of budget. Or listen to me. We can have an ad turn off because we ran out of budget or because the time expired. So either of them will work, right? You could say $1 a day, but then the end date's a week from now and it'll stop in a week. Or you could set the budget as $7 or whatever the number is and it'll stop when it runs out of budget, right? So you can do it either way.
Okay, so this has a start date of October 8th, and I can't change that, right?
You can't change the start date because it already started. So we can change the end date. So in this case, it says above, where it says budget, you set a daily advantage campaign budget of $1, which is great.
And
so
I want to,
let's
but I want
extend
to change it.
So today's November.
How do I change the budget?
Okay, so it says you set a daily advantage campaign budget of $1. So we're in the ad set level. So they're saying it's at the campaign level. So you got to go one level up. So where the light blue highlight is, you can click on that folder. So on the just to the left of where you are, in that light blue box where it's got that date. Okay, yeah, that goes to the campaign level because it goes campaign, ad set to ad, which I know is confusing, but every single ad network is based on that same three-tier structure. So now, now we can go down and you see where it says the budget is $1. Now we can say, what are $3, $5, whatever we want. But I would do that and then set the end date.
I'm clicking and there's nothing.
Okay, we're now in the ad set level. Yeah, I know. Listen to me. So you see on the left, so on the left, the light blue text that's being highlighted is at the ad set level. The one above that, don't click on anything. Just listen to me first. The folder above in the indentation is at the campaign level. The one we're in right now is at the ad set level. The one below that is the ad level. So this is something that's very confusing, but it's necessary to understand if you're running advertising in any channel. The idea of campaign versus ad set versus ad and how they work together, right? So we are, in this case, using what they're calling Advantage Plus campaign level budgets, which means that there's a budget we're setting at the campaign level, which means everything in that campaign could be one or multiple ad sets. In this case, there's only one ad set is pulling out of the budget that's being set at the campaign level, right? So any budgeting, it's saying there, you've set a daily ad advantage campaign budget of $1. So we want to change the budget. It has to be at the campaign level. So right now we're at the ad set. Yep, there we go. Go back up to the campaign. Yep, there we go. Now scroll down. Now you see where it says there's the campaign budget. Right now it's at $1. You're just below where you are.
Right. And is that
right there?
Per day, per month? Oh, daily budget.
Yep. And I don't like to put .00, even though 7 and 7.00 are the same. because sometimes when you press enter or whatever, that period disappears and it'll become 700, right? So I do not like putting .00, even though it is the same as 7 with nothing else after it, right? Okay.
Okay, and when I hit tab,
So
it
we've
changed.
set, and that's right. Yeah. So it's okay, but
Okay,
you don't want to type in .00. Just leave it at
got it.
7.
Got
Make
it.
sure it's $7. But sometimes when you type in .00, it'll say $700. That's why we don't want to type in anything else after that. Unless
Got it.
for some reason you want to spend $7.23, then put in the 0.23, but never put in 0.00. I have seen this hundreds of times where people they say, no, I put in $7, but it spent 700. Like, I know, that's why we always have the rule, never put in .00. It'll do that. Okay.
Okay, and what do I,
So
well,
now,
if I can't change the buying type or campaign objective.
because you've already set that, we could create a new ad if we want.
So if I
I would
create
have
a new
chosen
ad, I've got to go
engagement.
to start at categories, right? Or campaign.
Yeah, you'd create you'd start a new campaign, right? But
Okay.
I wouldn't,
No, that's
if we
okay.
were to do this all over again, I would have, listen, if you're moving so fast, David, I can't help you. I'm
Sorry.
trying to help you. These are all fundamentals. You've no offense, but you're making the most common errors we see when people are starting with advertising. That's okay, right? But just listen to me here, because these are very, very common issues. I'm trying to explain why these mistakes occur. Trying to explain like how the system works. It's not, I mean, it's confusing and all that, but I just want you to understand a few things. This is so 101. I want you to get this, okay? Listen, so when you have a post that you want to boost, and it has video, for example, we generally like to choose engagement as the campaign objective. You chose clicks, which is fine. And if you like the result of it and you really want to have people come to the landing page, you can do that. But generally, I'm not saying choosing clicks right off the bat won't work, but generally we like to boost the video. Why might that be the case? Why in our training do we really recommend engagement most of the time? Not all the time, but most of the time.
I assume because videos have more appeal, more more eyes.
Yeah, video just tends to perform better than other kinds of content because there's a story, because it's social media, because of all these different reasons why video is better than text or images, right? Pictures 1,000 words, a video's 1,000 pictures. But also, what we're trying to do when we're testing initial content, boosting, and this isn't a proven piece of content that's performed for us. So we want to see if we can get some engagement on it first. We want to see if people are going to stop and watch the video, right? Because if they don't stop and watch the video and they don't read the rest of the text, then they're not going to click on the link. So if you think about the logical order of how people make decisions, just imagine someone scrolling through Facebook, they see this post from us, they see the video. If they don't watch the video, they're not going to then click on the link. I mean, maybe there's like 1% of people that will just click on the link and not watch the video. But if we're going to convince people and educate people, the order is they're scrolling through Facebook, they see the video, they stay and watch the whole video or most of the video. And then if they find that's interesting, then they're going to click on the link to learn more, right? But if you say, hey, Facebook, I just want people to click on the link, Facebook says, okay, I'm going to try to honor your objective. You are going for link clicks. I'm just going to try my best to find people who will click on the link, independent of if they watch the video or not, right? But in this case, we actually got a fair number of link clicks, which means that in spite of us choosing maybe what's not the best objective as a starting point, it still worked out, right? So the fact that it worked decently, like, okay, well, maybe we can extend this. Maybe now there's enough data that's being gathered, because what happens is as Facebook or Google or whatever starts gathering data, it's learning who your audience is. It's learning who's engaging. It's learning who are the parents that have kids that have, ADD or learning disability or whatnot, right? And then once it's honed into the signal based on the engagement, then your ad campaign performs better, right? But if sometimes, and a lot of people do this because they don't know, they just create an ad and they choose leads or they choose conversions, but there's not enough data because there aren't enough conversions coming through on the initial ad, right? And then they put more money against it or whatever, but then it doesn't work because we haven't generated any signal for the system to go off of. Does that make sense? Okay. So in this case, we kind of skipped the step and went straight to trying to drive link clicks, which I get, right? And it worked okay. We reached a fair number of people. It reported a number of clicks that we got. Because whenever we go in and look at the the data, it'll report on the objective that you chose. So if we chose engagement, it'll show how many engagements there were. If we chose video views as our main objective, it'll start by showing here's how many video views, because the system's always going to go after what you ask for, right? So in this case, okay, it worked decently okay. We want to raise the budget. So there it is, $7. Now we just need to look at the time frame. So I never want to have an ad live forever, because things can change and whatever it might be. So it looks like here we set the campaign level budget at $7, and then the start and end time will be based on what's occurring in the ad set. In other words, in that particular ad. So you could have like 5 or 6 different posts inside this campaign, right? But in this case, we have one, which is fine, right? So go ahead.
Well, if we had 2, would it do $7 on each one a day, or would it do $3.50 on each one per day?
So this neither. So what we're saying here is we're allowing this campaign to spend up to $7 a day. So if there's 5 different ads or ad sets inside this campaign, then in total this campaign has $7. So it may decide to put $1 on each. It may decide, of the $7, it's not going. If we have 2 ads, it doesn't mean it's going to allocate it $3.50 evenly. So you can see there it says Advantage Campaign Budget Plus. Distribute your budget across ad sets to get more results. You can control spending for each ad set if you want, but generally it's better to let the system decide for us, right? So the budget is set at the campaign level. And there was a lot of argument about this among Facebook advertisers 3 or 4 years ago when Facebook said, hey, you know what, you guys aren't doing a very good job at allocating budget. Some people would say, okay, $5 on this ad, $10 on that ad, $100 on this other ad. And so most people have no idea how much money to spend per ad or per ad set. So Facebook said, you know what, just put the budget at the campaign level and then let us determine how much should go to each one, right? Because let's say you have 3 or 4 in here, David.
Right.
You and I don't know. Parker doesn't know, right? We need to let the data determine what's winning. So anytime we can let the algorithm do the heavy lifting optimization for us, we want it to do that. Unless there's just like, for some reason, we just really need to set a certain amount of budget per ad set. Now, in some cases, you want to do that. So let's say that you have, and this is what, I'll give you a real example. So we were doing this for Domino's Pizza, which has thousands of franchisees, right? And they gave us a big budget, millions. And so we had to legally spend a certain amount per franchisee, even though we found that when we boosted, some franchisees did better than others for some reason, right? But legally, we had to spend the same amount per franchisee. We couldn't favor one franchisee over another franchisee. So then we had to force the budget and take it down to the ad set level, which is one level below campaign, right? Because it goes campaign. You see on the top left where the blue highlight is at the folder, you see that blue highlight folder where at the campaign level, right? Both of the blue highlights are showing it at the campaign level. Then the one below that with the 4 boxes, whether it's across the top or on the left, is the ad set, right? So there could be one or multiple ad sets inside a campaign. And then below that is the ad level. So you can see here, if you look across the top, one campaign has one ad set with one ad inside it, right?
Right.
And if I was a random small business owner, I would think this is really confusing, because like, why do we have this campaign and ad set and ad thing? Why don't we just have the one ad, right? Why are there 3 levels here, right? And if we don't understand why there are these 3 levels, we're not going to be able to leverage the system for all its power, right? And it's not a Facebook thing, it's not a Google thing or a TikTok thing. Like, every single ad network operates according to these 3 levels. Like, and everyone in online advertising operates on these 3 levels, which it's just, initially it just doesn't make any sense. But once you've run enough ads, it makes a lot of sense, because, we're structuring things so the system can do the work for us to drive the leads, right? I don't want to be the one to like manually be touching stuff. But the reason why they have all these other options is that there are some cases where we want to override these options that are here. But in the case of what most of us are doing, 95% of the time, we're not going to mess with these other features, which of course, Facebook in this case, or Google, they have to make a system that will work for everyone who's doing online advertising. I want to say there's like 7 million, 8 million people that are advertising on Facebook, from some small guy all the way up to huge companies. So how do you, I kind of empathize with them. How do you create one system that everyone can work on, whether they're tiny or super sophisticated, right? So then you can see the issues we're running into are options that, for better or worse, they just put as a default, or we don't know why there's these other pieces. So you get lost in all these options that are here, right? So many options, right? It's like, I don't know, you get on a plane and you see in the cockpit, there's like tons and tons of knobs and things like that. It's like, this is really complicated, right? But they all serve a purpose if you're a pilot, right? If you're a pilot, you want all that, right?
Right.
In this case here, and in anything in digital marketing, we want to find out what's winning, why is it winning, and put more against the winner. So here we just increased the campaign budget, which means anything inside this campaign, which there's only one ad set, and then the ad set, there's only one ad in it, right? It's $7. So I would say publish, right? So now we've adjusted the budget. So hit the green button. And I'm glad you're asking this, David, because this is something that almost everyone starting out in online advertising trips on, because it intuitively doesn't, it just, only in hindsight does this make any sense, right? So the budget's increased to the campaign level, but if we don't have if the end date is still a couple weeks ago, it's not going to run any ads, right? So then when people adjust the budget, then they often come back and say, yeah, I increased the budget, but no ads are running, right? It's not spending anything. Well, yeah, but you have to have, if you don't adjust the end date, even if you increase the budget, if all the ads are turned off because the end date was in the past, then it won't run, right? So in this case here, now that end date's a week from now, so we can hit publish on that.
Okay. Do you think it is worth asking it to choose the audience instead of me choosing the audience here?
So you have a geo audience, and
Right.
the size on the top right is saying 722,000 to 849, so it's under 1 million. It is a little big, but because of the nature of the signal that we pass back, because of who's engaging, it's actually okay. Because it's going to subset this. Like you also matched on, parents and what is it, special education, reading specialists,
Right.
all that. So
Right.
that's fine. Yeah.
All right. So publish
So
this.
hit publish. So once the system has collected data, which it has, even though you've only spent $7, think of it as any targeting that we manually set, which is what you initially chose. It's kind of the outer boundaries. It's the area that Facebook can fish. So it doesn't mean they're going to fish the whole pond. It just means that's the boundary they have to stay within. So within this pond, it can go after any category it has. So once this starts working, we could actually run this with no targeting at all, because it's already learned. Not quite the case here with this ad, but if we have an ad that's already generated a lot of leads, it's doing really well, then we would duplicate it and then run it with no targeting, which is something that scares a lot of people who are new to advertising, because like, well, wait, how come, look, we want to really, really micro target down to exactly these kinds of parents. And yeah, we do, but our content and the engagement against the content is what does the targeting for us. The initial targeting, when we launch an ad, it doesn't know who the audience is. So we're kind of giving it guidelines on, okay, parents with, kids who have dyslexia, ADHD, right? Initially, just to try to give it some signal, kind of like, kind of go over in this direction. But once it's learned, you don't need to sub-target, or you don't even need any targeting, right? In this case, I would just keep it as it is. And let's see, it looks like we're down to the ad level, which is fine.
Right.
But now we know that since our budget's been increased to $7 a day and we extended it 7 days, we're basically telling Facebook we can spend up to another $49 here, right?
Right. Okay. This video on
And then
Facebook, should we take this off? Because they have to click it. Now, Instagram, it just starts.
I would just leave it as it is, because the whole point of a boosted post or advertising in general is something that's performed well organically. We want to try to get more out of that, right? So I don't, it's got to perform well organically. We're not creating something completely separate. Yeah, it's actually really easy. We don't have to touch anything, right? All we did was add more budget just now, right? I mean, maybe we have a few too many hashtags, right? You put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hashtags. That's probably don't want to have any hashtags, but
really,
like, we don't need perfection. Yeah, we did a whole office hours episode on why no hashtags, right? We've got like 20 episodes where we've talked about why no hashtags.
Okay, and I
A
just
lot of
want to
people
make
think if I add in all these hashtags, if I add in
right.
education, if I add in HDHD, then it's going to target those people. It's not true.
Okay, add undeliverable.
But so many people do it that just, it causes other people to do it.
Okay, where can I see where it's going to send them? Here? I mean,
Yeah.
it's where it says learn more, it's going to take them right to that article. And I want to make sure that's correct.
Well, you're sending where you want to show people. So you see there, you're
Okay,
mousing over, it says source URL, joelcenter.com. So you get to choose where you want people to go to. This is not what we recommend, but it'll still work, right?
and
And if
that's
you
not the
want to know
right
where that goes
place.
to, you click preview. It'll take them to the URL that you specify.
On preview?
You specified stowellcenter.com. So
No, it's not what I
can you
did on
see
the
there where it
first
says
one.
source URL Stowell?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the issue. When you boost a post, you can choose what objective you want. You can choose video views, you can choose engagement. Engagement is what we recommend 90% of the time. You can also choose link click. If you choose link click when you're creating the ad, it will always prompt you for okay, you want link clicks, where do you want to send them? So that's the one that, that's the one you chose, right? It'll take you to whatever. If you don't like the URL, then, choose a different URL, right?
Well, what's confusing to me is that it had the right URL in the post that we already ran. And then I came over here, things get lost, things get changed. And
Nothing
so
gets changed. It's
I just
all,
put,
so if you, yeah, it's when so here, just go to your Facebook, go to Stoll Learning Center, and I'll show you. And I'll show you what's supposed to happen when you boost a post, and then we'll look at the options you chose, right? This is super common. Everyone should understand this, right? Just go to facebook.com and then just go to Stoll Learning Center and then pretend we're going to boost a post, right?
okay.
Okay, so top
Oh,
left,
up here. Yeah.
or even click on boost post. There's many ways to get there. Yeah, but pretend like we're going to boost a post. So scroll down, find a post that you like, any post.
Okay. This one.
Okay, great. So hit boost post, the blue button for boost post, which is below the post.
And what
Now,
do I get more engagement?
Yep. Now notice if you click on see more, they're giving you a range of, Facebook is asking you, what do you want? So click on see more. Oh, I don't know, that's not working. See, they got bugs in their system too. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
See? So this is something Facebook, I think, should make a lot easier, but because most people don't know how to advertise, they will just choose by default, this automatic one. You see where it's already pre-clicked, this automatic.
Right.
So they're assuming your default is get more calls. Okay, well, if it's the case, they're selecting for you more calls, then whatever phone number you have, that's the phone number it's going to go to, right? So if we're going for get more calls, then we have to specify phone number, right? And if we want more leads or the one that you chose last time, which is get more website visitors, which means a click to our URL. So click on that. Let's just do what you did last time. Click on get more visitors. So if you want more people to come to the website, then it's going to say, okay, great. Click next or save. Then it'll say, okay, where do you want to send people, right?
Okay.
So click on the blue button for save. We're not going to actually create an app, but I just want to show you what happens. And we'll go back and we'll select another objective and you'll see where it goes, right? Okay.
Okay.
So for some reason, this still says call now and has a phone number, but based on what you select, if you select, I want a phone call, then it's going to say what phone number. If you select, I want people to come to my website, it's going to say, great, what page do you want, right?
And see, I
And so
want
there
to
it's
go
got the phone number,
to the
right?
article.
Okay.
So I
But
check.
here okay, so scroll up a little bit. You see there where it says button website URL?
Yep, right there. I
It
just
says
chose it. Learn
stowellcenter.com.
more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But you can choose whatever URL you want, right? So you see how based on the objective that you select, you then need to give it the thing that you want, right? You want to go to a form, you want to call a phone number, you want them to go to some particular landing page, like you have to specify that, right? But it'll prompt you.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. We're back to this one. Oh, crap. Okay. Where's the one we were over here.
But I just wanted to show you, the main point I
Yeah.
wanted to show you was when you start boosting a post, it asks you, what is your objective?
Right.
If you don't specify the right objective, you can see, like here it says on the top, it says new traffic ad, which means, oh, I want to send you a URL, right? But we generally don't recommend choosing that. Even though, yes, we want people to come to the website eventually, but we want them, in this case with a video, if we have a video in our post, we want people to watch the video, right? That's our goal. And I recommended it. I've told Facebook many times, hey, if someone uploads a video, by default, you should just auto select the, get engagement or get people to watch the video, but they don't. So that's why we have this issue, right? Or maybe you selected website or, who knows, right? Right.
Right. But this time we chose engagement, right? No.
No, we chose we intentionally chose the wrong objective just so I could show you if you
Okay.
based on whatever objective you choose, it'll ask for what's necessary to fulfill that objective.
Okay. And can I go back and change that?
Yeah.
And where do I change it? At the campaign level? At the ad
But you
set
have to
level?
change it. It's at the campaign level, right? All objectives are always at the campaign level. Budget can be at the campaign or the ad set level, right?
So what I really want here is engagement.
So yeah, but notice, see, right now we're in the ads manager. So there's way more options inside the ads manager. Before, when we were just looking at the posts, there weren't as many options, right?
Right.
But you can do it in either one, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So if you go to the one we were, and initially when we were looking at the posts, it didn't provide all this stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I really appreciate all of this, Dennis, and I could ask you questions for another hour and a half, but I hate to hog up everyone else's time.
No, this is important because Felicia and Omar and everyone else need to know this. Like this is these are all fundamental must understand sorts of things. I love going to all the advanced, sophisticated sorts of things, but man, we should spend the majority of our time on the fundamentals. Like, and the beauty is, if we do a good job taking care of our clients, then there's the idea of boosting and optimizing and all the stuff that we teach, it's actually not difficult in terms of the clicking around and making ads, because the most important thing increasingly is the quality of our ingredients.
Right.
If we've got a lot of great feedback, a lot of great videos, we're getting good reviews, for our GMB, we have happy clients, like, then the boosting is it's just getting, it's spreading that signal more, right? It's just amplifying that signal. So we really shouldn't have to spend a lot of time messing with like obscure technical details in Google's ads thing, or, inside WordPress or inside here on Facebook. Like, it's all kind of, should be pretty straightforward. We just got to boost enough to find some winners and then let the winners continue to run, right? If
Right.
this ad works great, then we'll let it run for, $7 a day for months and months, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's the whole point of dollar a day. Is like, there's some stuff we have to set up with the plumbing. We have to, pass the leads through. We have to do these other things. But this is, compound interest. This is an asset that it's like residual income, right? It's great. But it's super confusing because there's all this terminology and you have to click around on different things. But everyone's just got to get past that phase, right? But I think you're almost
Right.
there, David. We just got to, let's see evidence of what posts are working the best, and then we want to follow our MAA optimization process. And now we're off to the races. That's what's beautiful.
Great.
I would love,
That's
like, if Felicia
perfect.
or Omar want to do it, we could look at your stuff. It's the same principles, even though different businesses, right? Same fundamentals, because it's about amplifying what's working well. Doesn't matter what kind of, especially for a service business, it's actually kind of the same thing. We're trying to feed back that signal to Facebook or Google or wherever we're running our ads. Sorry, Parker, I've been hogging up this whole thing. This is your time. I should have just shut up.
Oh, you do a better
Then
job than I do.
people will think I'm the only one who can answer because I monopolize the answering of the questions. But
All right.
how about Felicia or Omar? You guys want to go look at your Facebook or your Google or YouTube or Twitter? Felicia, yeah, I was supposed to be in Orange County this afternoon.
You are going to be in Orange County, or you're supposed to be in
Frontier.
Orange County?
I was supposed to be in Orange County. I missed my flight. I was at the gate 16 minutes before the door closed, or whatever, the flight left. And I normally show up like 15 minutes, I'll board normally 15 minutes before. And I've flown 6.5 million miles. So I feel like I'm pretty good at this game, I almost never miss flights. But I went to the club to get food. You the airline. I'm like a big snob of the airline club thing, right? Because I always go there and eat the food, and why not, right? And I show up at the gate 16 minutes before, and she's like, "No, you can't get on." Like, what are you talking about? And she said, "We have to be on the plane 20 minutes before." Like, what? So I thought I was going to be clever today, and I booked a flight on Frontier because it was cheaper. I normally fly Southwest or American, but I got Frontier this time. And apparently their rule is you have to they close the door 20 minutes before departure. You guys knew that? I don't know. I don't really fly Frontier. I didn't know that. I just assumed like all the other airlines were kind of the same because I've flown so many other airlines. I've never really messed with Frontier, but now I know with Frontier, right? They have a different rule. Anyway. All right, Felicia, you want to share screen? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Maybe Mr. Park, you take it. I'll shut up. If you need me, I'm obviously still here.
Yeah.
But these are all things that all the other Parkers should be able to take this. Bring me in when it's like this sophisticated thing like no one else can figure out, right?
The trouble is I'll explain things and then you're like, you just do a better job than I do by like 50%. And I'm like, I'm not gonna interrupt when he's cooking, but
People say it all the time, but it's all the same stuff over and over again. I mean, no offense, David, but like this is not. I've literally done this. I've explained this thing, the ad setup thing, like what we're doing here, thousands. Literally, like you literally look at these Zoom calls. I've done this thousands of times, which just shows like it's the fun. It's like Tai Chi master like does the same move thousands of times, right?
yeah, that's why they call it the basics. But it still is confusing, to be fair. Like unless you're like really in it, it's kind of like hard to understand it. But anyways, Felicia, let's go. My business.
I was trying to get my Google My Business done, and then I got rejected. And so this is what I now see. Your access been disabled because the profile did not follow the rules. And so I wanted to, I'm trying to get them to take another look, and I wanted to see if you see anything in what I have put together that is keeping me from being able to claim my business. That's what I want to do.
Okay. So what you're saying is that you tried to claim the business and then some info was wrong, and that's why Google's not accepting that. Is that good?
So yeah, so Google said that there was a problem with my with whatever I had put, and so they ultimately disabled my access, and I've been with the internet, I've been playing, and it says that you've got basically 2 shots, and then Google is just like, you can never claim your business. And I was just like, well, then I need to get this fixed before I might potentially have a problem. And I was just wondering if you guys could take a look to see what I've already done to see what might be causing the problems.
Sure thing. Let's go to edit info and see what we got. All right. So usually with GMB issues, it comes down to the address or just something else, which is just not right.
Right.
Let's scroll down a little bit. So business category, financial planner, same business name. All right, opening date.
I bet you it's because she's the service area business. You can't display your address if you're a service area business. This happens all day
I
long.
don't have an address on here.
I don't. Okay. Well, let's see what else. If they said what the reason is.
Yeah, did they send
That's
you
the
any
most common one, but let's figure out why.
Did they send you any emails or anything that gave
Yeah, they
them...
did, and I put it in the Facebook. So I can go there, or do you want to continue to go through what I put in this?
Well, looks like we just went through that, just the information you gave. And I mean, maybe Dennis can come in, but I think it's nothing blatantly wrong that I can see. You mentioned before they sent an email. Yeah, we can definitely load that up, see what they said. I mean, Dennis, do you see anything that's like wrong here?
I'm a big fan of let's hear what they said versus guessing, right?
All right.
She asked, "Do you want to look at what they said?" My answer is yes.
Let's do it.
Okay, hold on.
I can pull it up too. This is in the office hours group, right?
Yeah, it is.
Complete the GMB can't be verified. All right.
It said restriction policy.
So violation type, your business. So it didn't really give you a violation type, it just said not eligible.
No, they didn't. It's a little maddening when you're dealing with our friends at Google.
Yeah, Amar's having a similar issue right now that we're hoping to get solved very shortly. But
this is what I got.
Okay, great.
So let me tell you a couple of things that I think were a problem. So I've been using the same email address, and I was using it for a business out in New Jersey that I closed, but I never closed it out in Google. So I took that out of my Google Business Manager. And then when I was trying to set up my my Google My Business, I also had 2 financial control masteries that I was trying to, like, I didn't realize that I had 2 of them that I was trying to set up. And so I took one of them out. So those were the 2 big moves that I made that I thought might cause me problems, because one of the things under the restriction manager is you couldn't use multiple addresses. I mean, couldn't try and claim the business in multiple locations.
Could you go just back to
Yeah.
the
So
email?
you were accidentally spamming.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm sorry, what did you ask me to do, Parker?
I was just going to ask if you could go back a tab just so we can see the full email.
Okay.
I think it's just in the tab to the left of the one we're in right now. But I agree with Dennis. I think that's probably the issue, is that just multiple locations and it's accidental spam. Yeah, if you could just scroll up for a second.
Darn thing over.
I just wanted to make sure that there like isn't anything in the email that says like a reason. No. Okay. Yeah, I think it's the multiple locations thing. Simply because I don't see anything else that would be a violation besides that. So yeah, that's what I think the problem is.
Okay.
As far as solutions, the other business, so that GMB is up right now, right? You said before, the one in New Jersey.
No, it's gone. I closed it. I took it off of my GMB, and I took off the duplicate, I took the duplicate financial control off of my GMB too. So those were, as I said, those were the two moves that I made, and I'm hoping that that is going to be fine, because I included, my business license for the thing in my video. I did my video classes. I included my license to even work as a certified financial planner. I included my insurance license. I included my pictures of the street addresses and what my business setup looks like. I thought I had given them everything, but with those two new changes, I'm hoping that this means that I will be fine. And so I'm probably, do you know how long the procedure is when you are appealing?
There's no time
Google.
frame. It just depends. It can be a few days or could be weeks.
Fabulous. Absolutely
This
fabulous.
this is a super common issue because the amount of Google Business Profile spam has exploded in the last 6 to 9 months for all sorts of reasons. So we have to get this right. If you are uploading things that try to show your street address or, a verification, that's usually a sign that you are accidentally circumventing their policy. Because if you're a service area business, right, with Google, you're basically a service area business, which means you go to clients or you don't have an office or whatever that people come, like people aren't going to go to Omar's place. He's going to send his trucks out to these various places. You're either a service area business or you're a retailer, whatever, customers can come to you.
Right.
If you're doing things around an address, a specific address, then that's usually not good. Or if you got multiple locations, right? You don't mean to be a spammer, and you're not a spammer, Felicia, but this behavior puts you in the bucket of spamming, because that's what Google, and that's what spammers do to Google, right?
Yeah.
So we just have to appeal it, but make sure before we do the appeal that everything looks solid, because I think you only get a couple chances, and after that it's almost impossible to rescue. Then we have to
I mean,
call up favors
that's
and
what
pay money to
I
friends and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I saw online, is that if I don't get this right, I may get one more shot at it. So
Yeah.
that's why I was bringing it to you guys. I was just like, can you look and see if there's something I'm not seeing that you guys are seeing?
Yeah. So the main thing is making sure your business information matches. You're actually like your Secretary of State filing, business name, DBA, like stuff like that exactly matches what you have in your Google Business Profile.
Yeah.
And the guy who's number one in knowledge on Google Business Profile, I had lunch with him. I've known him for 20 years. I had lunch with him last week. His name is Ben Fisher. And I've recorded 3 podcast episodes just on this topic. Like, you would think it's a 30-second topic, but this is such a common issue that, we're just like, all right, we just like need to record hours and hours going around, but then we cover what the 3 main issues are that cause suspension. Business information not matching, being a service area business, but listing the address in some way. You gotta, and there you can check it to show that's not visible, right? And then other things that relate to information not being correct. And
Got it.
real estate and financial advisors and locksmiths are all in these danger categories. So there's certain categories that are just higher scrutiny because they fall in what Google calls YMYL, which is your money or your life, right? So anything in a YMYL, so obviously financial advice or health or what, like those are all in YMYL categories. So we have to be
Okay.
especially careful. And I think they say you get like 2 chances or something like that, but we don't want to get nailed even once, right? Because they because the amount of spam, and it's so hard to get re-inclusion because there's just so much spamming going on. We just have to be more careful, right? So let's maybe Parker can look at it, or need to escalate it to me, or have Maria or someone else look at it, right? I mean, literally, just got to make sure it's right and then submit your appeal. But if we fail on the appeal, then it's really hard to get it back. We can, but it's just really hard to get it back.
All right.
And
So Parker,
given that you are a financial advisor, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Parker, I will shoot it up the flagpole and ask you to take a look.
Yeah,
It's one of those things where I might not see it because I'm too close to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, once we have everything done, we can appeal the decision. I mean, we just don't want to appeal it if there is something glaringly, obviously wrong. Didn't look like that's what we saw. So if this is our one location, I would suspect, like Dennis said earlier, that including like photos of an address when we're service-based business might have flagged them.
There wasn't, I didn't, so I mean, it was asking me to do a business video. That was the only choice that I had. I couldn't text, I couldn't do anything else. That was the only choice that I had. And they had specific things that they wanted. They wanted to see that, they wanted to have the street, they wanted a street sign, and then they wanted to have, the number on the building, and then they wanted to have you
all
opening
things,
the
Felicia.
door.
Yep, all those things, Felicia, are in verifying a location that has a physical address. So I think you're making probably the most common of the 3 mistakes, which is you're actually a service area business, but you've gone down the path of verification of having a physical address. So that's why they rejected you. So whenever we see all those questions around that means that you are maybe accidentally trying to be an actual physical location. Because here's what Google's saying. If you're a service area business, you don't have an actual place with the sign where, with opening hours that people can come in and visit, then they can't show you on Google Maps with a dot, right? Because if they could, then I could just register 1 million Google My Businesses right now, right? And like put one on every single block, Dennis U Enterprises, right? So that's why they're rejecting it.
I mean, it's what they asked me for, which is frustrating.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you the reason why they are asking this. This is the most common of the most common issue. It's so common. The reason they are asking this from you is because somehow you've gone down a path where you are trying to say you are a physical business with an address. They only ask those questions when you are trying to be an actual storefront. So Google's definition of a storefront is like, going to Costco. If you're going to go to a Costco, there's a sign, there's a building there. You can take a picture of the Costco sign. You can walk in there. There's opening hours. There's all these things of a physical place that you can visit. So when they're asking questions around physical verification of your business, that's a sign you went down a path accidentally. You shouldn't go down because you're a service area business, right? I mean, if you want to, you could open up like a Regis or something like that and, and pay the whatever, $150 a month or whatever it is, right? For one of those places. So then you actually have a physical address. And then as long as you meet the requirements that Google has for what's called a storefront, which means there's a sign, it's visible, people can visit. You can actually do that with the co-working space because when you go to the lobby and there's a directory or whatever, and it says, here's all the businesses there, you don't have to actually be open or whatever, but as long as you can show there's a picture there, they actually let that go by. And we have a lot of clients that are in that space. Like we have a huge pest control company and people don't go to their office because it's way out on a farm, but we registered a Regis in the middle of downtown. So that might be something to consider. It's an ROI consideration, right? And do you want to be a service area business, which is very hard to show up in Google Maps, or is it worth it to register a Regis? Not for some reason, WeWorks don't seem to work. And this is what Ben and I have discussed. There's 3 podcast episodes about this. I'm just summarizing it here, but it may make sense to pay for like co-working or pay to have your sign, maybe your friend has a business or whatever it is. You can just kind of put your sign there and just pay them like a couple $100s a month just to say that, you have your thing there. But this is the most common issue in local service businesses, a physical business, which is retail, versus a service area business, which is customers don't come to you. Super, super common, right? This could almost be podcast number 4, right? But we only spent 15 minutes versus a whole hour on it.
Right.
But it's worth it. Parker, this is such a common issue that all of the podcasts that I've done on this, we really need to put out there, because so many people are getting nailed by Google on this. And I just hate seeing this happen. The thing is, like, because people don't know, then, we'll help out folks here because they're in, paid coaching. But for all those thousands of people that hit me up directly with the same issue, like, we can't help them. They're not clients, right?
Yeah.
They're not in our coaching group. But we just gotta put that. But if our people don't even understand what it is, then they won't be able to work on the content because they lack if you don't understand the content, you can't work on it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, put it in the group, and then we'll spend some time to make sure the information in your profile looks accurate.
Great.
Which means
Thank you.
you give us access to your GMB. We got to be careful too, right? Because Parker, if other folks give us access to their GMB so we can see the insights, but then they get banned or whatever, that can also kind of leave a black mark on us too.
Yeah.
Even though it's like not fair to us, but just be careful, right?
Mhm.
All right. Cool. So we'll help you out, Felicia, offline.
All right. Great. Thank you.
All right. Cool. Maria.
Hi guys, how are you? I just had a quick question.
Good.
In regarding to Google My Business profile. I just recently, I had my Google profile set up with the Gmail account, and then I just recently went to Workspace, and so I'm not able to log in. If I go into my profile at Workspace, I'm not able to log into GMB. It asked me to create a new profile. Does it really matter, or should I switch it over, or is it too much of a hassle, or so just leave it?
Maria, you asked
Doesn't
me.
matter.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's all I need to know, because I wanted to make sure, because I have my analytics and all that stuff with the GMB, but I want to make sure they all talk to each other. Okay.
Those are separate Google products. Of course, we have to track it together, but Google doesn't, just because you use one account for Gmail and one account for your maps and that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Okay. Perfect. Thanks.
Yeah. All right.
Real quick, I'll keep going because David does have a question. David, it's not letting you publish for the total budget.
That's correct. I have to raise the budget to $7 for it to let me publish.
But it's for a week time frame, right? So $1 a day, $7.
Correct.
All right, and you're saying it's at $7 and it's not letting you publish.
That is correct.
All right, share your screen real quick. Susan. I would say sometimes it just depends on the budgeting. Sometimes they're finicky. Might have to do $8 if it's really not letting you do it. My experience, but let's see.
The answer is we don't want to make stuff up. The answer is it depends on the objective that you choose. So when you choose engagement, the min budget is $1 a day, but other objectives will have a different minimum budget.
David, scroll down.
It's not because there's a bug.
See, it says $1. See, it's $1 for 7 days, right? So that's the total budget for that 7 days. So we need to bring that to 7.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Duh.
You can determine a daily budget, you can determine a total budget, and then below it'll say, what that work. It'll do the math. So let's say you want to spend a total of $7 over 10 days, that would be 70 cents per day, which would not be enough. So if you go down there, you can actually see it, do the calculation. So there you put $7, right? November 14th, 7 days, but just for fun, change that end date to like November 28th or something like that, and watch what it shows. Something further out, right? It'll say, must be at least $1 a day, which is the whole point of, go down and click on the 28 or whatever. Just click on that date.
Yeah, and it grays it out again. Okay.
Yeah. Well, usually it'll say a little something below it, put a little warning saying, no, got to spend $1 a day, which is, 17, 18 years ago. That's how we came up with this $1 a day thing.
Okay.
Because it said so.
Sometimes
just to be safe, you could put like $8 for 7 days, right? That way it doesn't like accidentally cause you to round to like 98 cents per day or something like that, right?
Yeah. All the answers are here. I just don't see them. So thank you.
Yeah. And then once you learned it, then it's so easy to just do it over and over again, right? But the first time it's confusing because all these things are in different places to click on, right? But now you got it.
Got it.
Awesome. All right. Appreciate you
Very good.
guys.
Omar, Fernanda, anything else we want to go over?
No, I think we're fine. We're just, waiting for that verification still and see what's gonna happen for that. But apparently it's a lot more common than we thought. So
It is. I don't know what these guys were talking about. I don't know if I forwarded you that guy's message too, but you're welcome to come for our meeting.
so I
Thank
didn't
you.
know. Yeah, I didn't know if we were supposed to be there or not. I don't want to get in the way of anything or anybody. So I just
No, they always do this. Like the white label guys are always like, "Oh, you don't want to talk to the clients direct." It's like, dude, we have nothing to hide. Like, come if you want. If not, all good. It's gonna be 11:30 tomorrow.
sounds good.
Thank you. We appreciate it. And we really wanted to tell you, thank you for that. When you were like, yeah, we want to be transparent, we appreciate that. But again, we don't want to get in the way. We were like, we're probably going to ask questions that are just going to take up time. So we joined.
Sure.
We might just stay quiet the whole time to let you guys do your thing and for us to understand. All I could say is, Felicia, don't give up. It happens. It's frustrating, but I'm sure these guys will help you get there.
A lot. I will definitely do that.
All right, guys. Anything else before we leave?
I have I don't know if it'll help with Felicia. Maybe I'm overstepping, but I know you said that you removed the GMBs that were linked. Did you delete them? Because I know when we first started, I don't know if that was with our lights. I think it was with our seasonal business. Like Omar had created one and I created one. This was years ago. So we had to delete one of them. Like it shows like it's been disabled. Like we didn't just remove it from our email. But I don't know if that might help if the other GMB stays active. Maybe that's why they're not letting her verify.
Actually did delete them because they were businesses that I ran years and years ago, and I wasn't planning on going back into them. So deleting them worked for me.
Okay.
But thank you.
Perfect.